Hello, ladies. Today I'm going to give a brief rundown of Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. As with everything, you should do your own research, and it's going to take a lot of studying to know the differences. But in reality, the differences aren't necessary to understand because we've moved past one. And the one you use now and are familiar with is Web 2. The differences are kind of subtle, but we're going to go through it to kind of give you an overlay. So, what is Web 1? Well, Web 1 began in 1989, and I got this off of the Britannica website talking about it, and I'll take you right there. If you want a full, after reading the options, the one that I found the best explanation was this Britannica one. So you just look up the World Wide Web history and definition. You go right here. That's where you're going to see this paragraph. But, you know, the techies like to overcomplicate things for most viewers. But go ahead and read this if you're interested and want more information about it. But again, I'm going to give you a brief overrun. So, what's important about this is CERN. CERN laboratories where they do the Hadron Collider, among other things. So definitely do your research on CERN. Now, Web 1 is a Unix-based system, and it's mostly a read files. And what they ended up doing is they use this hypertext transfer protocol, or your HTTP that you're used to seeing, and then they go down into URLs a little bit later, but there's some URLs in Web 1 too. But for now, what is this? What are they talking about? Well, for that, I'm going to show you a clip from a great movie, the only Jurassic Park worth watching, and that's of course the classic Jurassic Park. So, what do we mean that it's a read file? Well, this is what we mean. Access rate program. Access security. Action. This was the original type of internet. There was all these type of things, and there were no interfaces in between. There weren't apps or anything yet. That's what Web 2 is about, what you're familiar with, which I'm not really going to go into because that's what everybody knows now. So again, you'd have to go to your Jurassic Park, and these are your in this scene, you have him trying to get into the computer access, and all the computers at Jurassic Park here are all linked together, and all the information is stored on those individuals. Web 2 is really where these big conglomerates come in, like Google, Microsoft, and Apple, and they are going to make their own operating systems that use interfaces and apps. But for now, let's just go ahead and let's go ahead and play this. You know, so that's that. So going back to our CERN laboratory, it used Unix, which is basically the father or base of Linux, which is the more widely used one now for individuals. And we'll have a whole thing on Linux at some point in time. For your privacy, if you don't want to use Apple or Windows, you're going to be, or Android operating systems, you're going to be using Linux. And these are operating systems. Another thing we're going to want to pay attention to here about CERN. Well, first let me show you what the Unix is. Let me show you that clip, also from Jurassic Park, the only Jurassic Park worth watching. This is where the girl starts hacking. It's a Unix system, and she knows how to do this. Exciting. I think you guys kind of get the point from there. So, what they're demonstrating is kind of the earliest icon image, click on this to find what you're looking for that most people are used to doing now. But let's go back to CERN so I can give you a brief in general. Even if you don't want to use the Web3, the way you should be using Web2 for your privacy is this. You'll see on a lot of YouTube channels that surf VPN nonsense. Why go get and pay for any of those VPNs when you could just use the original CERN? And the reason why you want to use CERN is because it is the most protected out of all the other ones. If they were to breach the privacy of CERN, all the world leaders and everybody would be subject to breach. Anything not coming from CERN is just an imitation, and there's really no point, in my opinion, using. So the first thing you're going to want to do to get started, even in your Web 2, before we even get to Web 3, is whatever browser you're using, you want to go ahead and find Tor. That's going to be your first thing. Now, Tor is an onion router. So whatever browser, whatever search engine you're looking for, you're going to want Tor. And Tor is an actual browser. It's just like DuckDuckGo or your Google or Firefox or any of those type of search engines. And what it uses is onion browsers. Now, the difference between an onion browser and a VPN is a little fuzzy to me, but basically a VPN is a virtual IP address, while your onion browsers or your onion networks are different setups. And to explain that, I'm going to take you over here. Now, see, I'm directly wired, but that's relatively new and that's because of things I've been doing. So I'm like directly connected to this. But what I used to do up until recently was I would go on my Netgear, and it doesn't show it in this display, but I plugged my Netgear up into another router that I set up privately and independently, which could be a whole course on its own. And it's a hidden network. And if I want to access it, I have to go put it in manually sometimes. Sometimes it pops up. This time it didn't. But that's what I've been doing. But ever since this, I haven't wanted to get out of their direct wire. So I don't know I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on here, but it doesn't really matter. But it did overlay my onion router. So, and in the onion router just means you're using multiple routers. You go from one router to another router. One router that's registered with the internet provider, and then one that I made myself. I didn't build the actual router. I just reprogrammed an old one. So the first thing you want to do is Tor. Now, once you download your Tor browser, which I've already done, then you could go to your Proton. You can go to your Proton VPN. And then you're going to want to go download the Proton VPN. You have one device, it's free, and you got plenty of options, and then that would be your VPN. Now, the reason why a lot of this is obsolete, especially for your early users, I forgot. There's also a thing called Proton Mail, which is an encrypted, basically like your Gmail. But it's encrypted and saved in the CERN files instead of Google. So when you do email stuff, you're going to want to use your Proton VPN or go to Proton Mail. You just sign up an account It's pretty basic. So now that we've talked about those couple of things coming out of CERN, let me talk about Brave Browser. Now, Brave Browser is actually native to the Web3 and is the perfectly compatible with Web2. And so that's what I use. I'm not paid by them. I wouldn't mind being paid by them. I like them, but anytime we'd have to negotiate our contracts privately. But anyways, now what you're going to find here on your on your Brave browser. I'll see if I can get to my home. See if I get to the home page here. It's the shields. Where do I pull up though? Well, what I'm getting at, hopefully it doesn't show it, is when you download Brave, you're going to automatically get a Brave wallet. And this way, you don't have to use a Know Your Customer. And we'll get more into Web3 stuff specifically in terms later. But you're going to get your own Brave wallet, which is really, really awesome. And it can connect into all your other stuff. And it's compatible with everything that I've been using that we'll get into more. So for now what we're going to want to look at is if you're doing the basics, you're going to want to just go ahead and get your Brave browser. I'll make it very easy for you guys. Just get your Brave browser. And then, let's see, it wants to do Opera. That's Opera. I read operas, and I don't really like it myself. But definitely go come here and get your Brave browser. Oh, that's the Wikipedia. I apologize. I don't want the Opera browser. Here's Brave. Why Opera? See, something's going on with Opera. Opera's the other one, and I got some developer inside information on that they send out to everybody who does this type of stuff, who's registered with them, and something's going on with Opera that I feel fishy. So definitely do Brave. I don't know why it's coming up like this, but Brave. You're just gonna go on here, and you're just gonna download Brave. Now, when you do that, it is already, you can see up here, interactive with Tor. Now you're automatically using Tor, no extra downloads. And again, as far as your crypto wallets go, just by signing up with Brave, they give you one. It's that simple. You don't have to use any type of Gemini or any online services or anything to do with it. And so you don't even have to use your Brave wallet or any Web3 stuff. Your most private one, your best integrated browser at this point for easiest use is Brave. And you just want to start getting used to it. The more you do it, Brave has programs where if you look at their advertisements, they start putting money into your account already in the form of what they call BAT coins. So you can already start earning points and stuff on it. You can already have your wallet, and your wallet can hook up to anything you want to do in the future. And you're using Tor right now, and you're on the Onion server. Right there. If you want to do any of your private, you have the choice of doing either. Brave doesn't save any of your searches. It doesn't sell any of your searches. And it's compatible with DuckDuckGo. And all the Web3, everything we're going to do is going to incorporate Brave at some point. They're just too big to keep out right now. And if that changes, I'll let you guys know. But that's really what I wanted to talk about today in this video. I just wanted to go over those couple things and kind of show you what those are. Go ahead and start out just by downloading your Brave. And the reason why you're going to want to do this is going to become more clear, and I'll mention it quickly here. So if I go back to, let me exit this. If I go back to mine and I go to my extensions, okay, it doesn't show it here, and I'm not sure why, but the interplanetary file system is also, you can make your own custom node and it's download it really easy. Well, I'll pull that up. Just do that real quick. Let's do interplanetary file system Brave download. And so you go right here, and you can go ahead and get the, and you can, and wow, and it is already integrated. And that's going to become important in a future video. And I'll just show you right now that if we were to exit out all of these things, remember when I was doing it earlier and I was having difficulty with my view block? So here's view block again. Here's the federal-postal-court-venue.crypto. All you do is you type in view block and it shows you this little engine. Well, now if you come over here to owner, I've updated a few things. So you come here to owner, it'll show you that the domain. You click on that, and it's going to pull up it. The first thing that I've updated is the token gallery. Once you get Brave, all of these websites are integrated. You don't have to do anything special. So get your Brave account just to start out. It's really easy. And now the tokens pop up. Okay, we'll do a video about all that here soon. What I did want to show you is that before we were getting on, and I'll take you to that too. Go back here. We'll go back to this other page. So remember before I was showing you that this still isn't working for me, this URL. And again, that's the interface between the Web2 link. However, and I'm about to, but I did have a workaround. But first I want to show you what we were doing. We were on a Pinata cloud, a gateway Pinata cloud. And this only allowed us to, while accessing this, only allowed us to do one. And if I tried to do another one, it says it's not accessible, too many requests, all this nonsense. And that's because it's going through this Pinata cloud. So what I did is after I went back and reprogrammed it on the IPFS, and I integrated it with my Brave. And once you do that, you can look it up as a normal node. But even if you don't want to do all that, there is a website now, and this is a Web2 site that instead of using that Pinata, it shows up here. So to get to that again, so to get around this nonsense, instead of clicking on the IPF directly, if you go over to owner, pick the one that we're doing, it's going to give you this one. That symbol is the Web2. And that's going to take us there. An easier way to do it would be to go to my YouTube channel. So if you don't want to do anything with Brave and you want to leave your computer the way it is, you don't feel comfortable with any of that, but you do want to do some education about the Federal Postal Court venue and you want to see how it's all set up, just come to my About, and I did upload, as of today, a Web2 domain for it. So if you just come to this Web2 domain, I'm having difficulty linking it up to the other view block, but you could just come right on in here, grab this Web2 domain, and this will be your normal computers that you just use by yourself. Just put it in your search engine, And now it should pop right on up. Welcome aboard. And this is the full, and I get all the icons on it. Some of the imagery gets lost in translation, and that has to do with me and the way I'm programming, but I'm doing my best. From here, though, you now can click on all of these things. So welcome aboard. Here's how it all begins. And if you're new to things, come on over here to the neophyte. It's going to explain and get you started on everything. I definitely would come over here to study knowledge to know absolutely everything. There is so much here. Each one of these is a link. The 5,000 names for God, the deep state, and, well, I should be careful. How to own your freedom. 5-second proof God exists. When nothing is as it appears. How to handle lawyers' insurance claims. Chemistry of relationships and divorce. Quantum paperwork is the court. Banking, post office, parse and text grammar. How to handle bank mortgages. How to get the bank stressing over your mortgage. What is law of the flag? Qualified for banks, 750,000 compensation. Why guilty until proven innocent? 3 steps handling lawyers and debt collectors enforcement. Vows +2 consonants equal no. The season of treason. Organizing correct sentence structure. And the list just goes on. All of these things are going to take you directly over to each one of these categories of education. Boom. You're here. This links you to a site. Most of this stuff I didn't write. I don't know if I wrote any of this stuff. Most of these things are going to take you to another smallchangebigprofits.com. And it's going to talk to you all about everything you need to know. And this is where you want to do. They've upgraded their page since then, but I'm just glad it still links over. But I took their page and made it Web3 and filed it on the IPFS, the Interplanetary File System, for them. And I incorporated it into the entire court system we have here. So let's say you want to make a claim. Well, now you can. If you're going human versus human, there's a way to file it. If you want human versus corporation, there's a way to file it. If you want corporation versus corporation, there's a way to file it. And now you should be able to access what I've just showed you is how to do it from your normal internet. If you want to use your normal internet, I'll repeat one more time. Just come on over to my YouTube and you can just grab the Web2 domain and then you won't have to do anything else. But if you do want to start using everything on here and you want to do more than just study, at some point you are going to have to go over to the Web3 because it's on its own domain and own block. A block that I own, that I programmed, and it's on the Ethereum network. They cannot control it. It's not owned by any corporations, and all smart contracts have to be signed by myself or relating to this. That way, we can keep everything as safe as I can. So that's how you get from the Web2 domain. Just come down here, copy and paste that, and it's going to pull up all your information. It's going to be the same thing. That's how. So case judgments. Now you can explore it freely. It should pop up. Sometimes, if you have as much stuff as I have running at the same time, it'll take it too long, so it won't want to get in there. And the way to fix that, actually, I'll have to show you guys in another video. But it would take you guys to do it. Yeah, it doesn't want to load anymore. And that's just because of all the stuff I'm using for the internet and uploading and downloading. But yes, it is all here and ready to use. These post position claims is something I would definitely. Oh, perfect! It popped up. See these post position authority claims? I have the hierarchy and how do you sign up to be each one of these. and all the instructions. So for all of you people out there wondering about the Federal Postal Court venue and why is it that we do not have a way to settle the claims, we don't have a bank account. None of them do. Well, I do. I put it on there, and I have been a direct student of David Wood Miller this whole time. As long as he's been doing it, well, maybe not as long as he started, but definitely since 2013, before all of these other people, since 2009. So I just wanted to show you a little bit about that and give you this little rundown. So again, for Web 2, just come here and then you can get that. You get access. Just come down here, grab that, put it in there, and you don't have to do anything else. If you do want to start participating in the Web 3, definitely recommend just Googling what it is that you want to do. Watch YouTube videos on what you want to do. I say Google, but I really mean DuckDuckGo for privacy purposes. Figure that stuff out. Get your education on it. And when you get your Brave browser, everything's going to be native. I cannot recommend enough. Now, if you want to get your Brave browser, the reason why I showed you the Tor first was because then you could do it anonymously. Download your Brave. And there's a whole bunch of different things you could do. But for all intents and purposes, if you're just your average lady trying to do the basics here, just start with Brave. Just download Brave, and I'll teach you from there what to do. For all things, not just the Federal Postal Court venue. It's going to be all things. At some point in time, if you have been reading the codes, rules, and regulations that they've been changing, and we're going to do videos about that too, about how to pay your taxes, what is taxable, what isn't taxable, how to stay anonymous. We'll get into all of those as this series goes on. But first, I just wanted to give a little bit of understanding between the difference. So your Web 2 is what you know. Your Web 3 we're going to get into. But the most important thing about Web 3 is that it's on a blockchain as opposed to servers. The blockchain cannot be changed very easily. Every computer, every dollar, every ether, every Bitcoin that gets mined and used in transactions is another block on the chain. And all those transactions have to equal the same number in order for anything to be changed, so it decreases fraud. This will be the system of the future. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh, Bitcoin's going away, crypto's going away, it's all crashing down, well, then go study your Battle of Waterloo. Go figure out how and why and what happened with the Battle of Waterloo, the Black Rider, and the downfall and debt of England. So once you know what they do, you'll realize what they do, they repeat the process. It's the same entity. The same entity exists. Now, whether it has a physical being, that's still up for debate. But the thought waves, the principality is definitely here because they do the same thing. They crash the market. They lie about who wins a war. That's what they did with Waterloo. They crash the market, then buy it all up. Crash the market, buy it all up. That's what's going on now because everyone's switching over. Don't believe me? Go look up Bank of America. Go look at Google patents for cryptocurrencies. Bank of America has hundreds of patents going in. Bank of America is going to be the #1 bank to start all of this. So I just wanted to do a video and let you guys know the differences between the two. Hopefully I didn't lose your attention span. And we're going to do more about Web3 wallets and where to go for now. So for now, really, we're going to go back to this other page I had. I'm going to ask you ladies to look up and start studying 3 different things. CERN and everything that comes from CERN, which is going to be Proton. Your Proton VPN, your Proton mails, and anything related to Proton. The reason why it's Proton is because that's where the Hadron Collider is. The second thing I want you guys to look up, or you ladies to look up, is your Tor browser and what an onion router is. These are the very basics that you're going to want to understand, just so that way you can entry level. And once you get a concept for that, then go look for your Brave. Your Brave browser, it's a lion, it's beautiful, the technology's evolving. Oops, I didn't need to do that. The technology's evolving, and it's just, everything is integrated. So go get your Brave browser and just start learning and start there. That's really all you could do. When you sign up, you're gonna get a wallet, and you don't have to use your ID or any type of know your customer rules. You can do it. The reason why I tell you not to get your Brave, do your Brave last, is because you're gonna want your VPN set up in the Netherlands and your Tor browser, and you're gonna go on your private browser to download it, so that way everything you do is outside the United States. That way the United States can't come back and say, oh, well, I have jurisdiction over you because you're in the United States. No. Why don't I look at where the internet's coming from? Just open it up. Everything I do is from the Netherlands. It's right here. Now this green triangle here in the United States just blows my mind, because I set up a whole node, and we'll teach about those later. I have the train coming now, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you, ladies. Have a good day.